Hey there, Ashland. Martha Miller here with your Town Tea for the week of March 17th. So council had a meeting this week, and the biggest thing on the agenda was a public hearing for the rezoning request for a development going by the name of Patriot Glenn. This rezoning request is for development of about 65 acres along Route 54 across 95 from the town of Ashland, adjacent to Woodside Lane there. This proposal first came before council back in February, and since then town staff has been working closely with the applicant to kind of revise based on public feedback and other considerations expressed by council of changes they would like to see to that development. So council did vote to approve this week, this development, this rezoning request. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on kind of the details of what to expect from this development. So the majority of this development will be single family home residential developments with a small portion of commercial development there fronting Route 54. Also of interest, I think, is some proffers that were put into this application by the applicant with guidance from council and our town staff here, specifically around connecting this development via a trail to Washington Lacey Park there that sits at the end of Woodside Lane. That's a Hanover County park, but it's in town limits. But it will provide some connectivity as well as some other connectivity within and around that neighborhood. And then kind of on the other side of the development, there's a planned smaller dog park, as well as potentially a playground of some kind. And then of great interest to the community based on feedback we're constantly getting is pickleball courts are proposed. Of course, we'll see as it develops, but that is the plan. And I will say that one of the proffers that was asked for by our council and the developer has put forward is that those pickleball courts and the dog park, all the park areas of this development would be allowed if they were made available and open to the public. So again, I know we get a lot of requests here in our Parks Department for pickleball court development, and so it looks like we are going to have some publicly accessible pickleball courts eventually in this development just on the other side of 95. The other things covered at the meeting this week is the strategic plan revisions. Those were adopted. I mentioned those a couple town teas ago, and the updated version of that will go live on our website here soon. And then they also, council also adopted a new policy around filming in public meetings. And really it's just kind of specifying locations for potential reporters to make sure that they have locations within our town council chambers at public meetings to film in a place where it's not only visible for their audiences, but that won't obstruct views of participants in council chambers. Other than that, this week we hosted a really great group of folks, around 40, in our council chambers on Wednesday for Richmond Region Tourism's I Am Tourism program. If you're not familiar with this program, it's open to anyone. There's a small fee associated with it, but it really teaches you all about the tourism offerings that the Metro Richmond region has to offer, and it's put on by Richmond Region Tourism. And the basic message behind it is that everyone is an ambassador for tourism here in Richmond. So I encourage you to check out Richmond Region Tourism's website for more information. They host those classes kind of all over the Metro region throughout the year. So take a look and sign up for one if you're interested. Parks and Recreation also distributed a request for unsealed proposals for a new public art, functional art project. I may have mentioned this before. I can't quite remember, but this is going to be a kind of functional art piece that will serve as seating and also a kind of welcome for the Fall Line Trail. It's going to sit kind of on the Library Plaza in the rear on the side there on Robinson Street, where there are currently some picnic tables. We are really excited about this project. It's kind of just a small project to inject even more public art, as well as provide for a great meeting point for that Fall Line trailhead. And so that RFP has been issued. It is a Parks and Recreation project, but a subcommittee which will also consist of some members from our Public Art Commission are going to help select that piece as well. So again, it's a great opportunity for those two citizen committees to collaborate that we're excited about. Coming up this week, so we have our second budget work session on Tuesday at 6 p.m. The planning and community development budget, as well as our police, our public safety budgets, will be the bulk of the presentations there, as well as some additional kind of notes, final notes from our town manager. I know I did mention last week that fortunately the town of Ashland is not hugely reliant on federal funding, and so we don't anticipate impacts on the cuts that are happening. but there is a lot of talk, as I know you are fully aware, of a potential recession coming. And so our town manager is, going forward with a budget in mind to make sure that we're being diligent and prepared should that happen. We aren't expecting any drastic cuts to the proposed budget since the last time we talked, but we do want to be cautious and responsible to make sure we're prepared should that happen. And then finally, our Public Art Commission will meet again on Thursday. The big topic of conversation at that meeting is going to be the kind of details around a new art on loan program that the commission is going to undertake, and that will be a kind of annual rotating collection of installation of sculptures here in town, which the commission is really excited about taking on. So if you're interested in what the Public Art Commission is doing, please, we will always welcome attendance, or if you just have ideas or thoughts about amplifying public art here in town, we would love to hear from you. All right, Ashland, I think that's it. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Maybe I'll see you at the Railroad Run tomorrow. I will be walking it, but participating nonetheless. All right, have a great weekend.